All right, Cyber Traders, welcome on back here this Thursday afternoon. Hope everybody enjoyed their Valentine's Day here. Now, here we are this Thursday, February 15th. Great to see all of our students and members alike. You got Jeff, Andrea, Linda joining us inside our live trading room. Joining them was Kevin, Richard, Peter, Margaret just before. And all of our students and members alike there and perhaps on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. That being at Cyber Trading U. I always like to post that on the bottom left of the stream there. If you're unfamiliar, new to our streams or new to our social media streams right here, just make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button, that being at Cyber Trading U, namely on YouTube, just to know when we're going live, when we're not. But with that said, great to see Margaret and Jeff, like I said before, Leda, Andrea, Linda, all of our students there now. Now, with that said, CLSK, well, about time this comes back down to, earth a little bit, right? For as much as this thing just popped and ran from end of last week, coming off earnings into this week, well, ended up seeing more of a consolidation after the morning. Had popped up at first, but then ended up making lower highs, lower low, from there short. So, my stance on crypto altogether. This is a Bitcoin mining affiliated stock, much like Mara, much like Riot, all of these other ones that we've been trading. I have been a huge fan of CLSK really since October time. We've been trading it really from then. It was at that point, I think it was Goldman Sachs, and I know that Jamie Dimon is part of JP Morgan, right? So it's not him, it's the other one then. So Goldman Sachs came out with their report regarding the crypto mining stocks and going forward. They said that they liked CLSK the most ever since that point, literally. Ever since that point, this thing has just taken off on a life of its own. So we are familiar with the stock. We like it. I don't mind day trading it as a short. I'm not really too focused on swing trading it as a short. That is for certain. I'm very bullish on the crypto market long term. Going into this year, I still am. So, as a short, does it hurt us to put this on our watch list? Not at all. There could still be more room on the way down. It technically has filled a little bit of a gap back from Monday this week or Tuesday this week. And if it breaks below there, could we see a further drop back? Of course. So I'll put this on our watch list, just namely as a short trade to begin for this afternoon. If we end up seeing higher lows, then perhaps we can get that bounce. But between CLSK, Mara moved up a lot as well. But I mean, honestly, CLSK like 2x'd in about a week time there. So Mara ended up making a pretty good push of its own. But I mean, yeah, I could add this to our watch list as well. This one's hard to borrow, at least for me, on TradeStation. Coinbase net positive today, up 2% actually today, so a lot stronger compared to the miners. But yeah, I mean, just CLSK, if anything, I'm going to put on our list to start. Otherwise, though, aside from just that drop off, we've done really well across the board today. Just looking at the gainers list, CHNR from the morning session obviously looks horrible now, but we're day trading these stocks. We're not trying to be in and out within just 1 second's time. But if we see a stock make a pretty strong move up, we're bound to believe it's going to pull back over time, right? So we're not trying to be perfect. We're just trying to get enough meat off the bone to satisfy us. So this gave us a lot of meat to take off the bone here. Ended up going from 3 or even under 3 up towards 9, and then from there pulled back. So, hey, we do say typically around 10:15, 10:30-ish, we tend to see pullbacks, reversals. This ended up dropping off sooner than that because it moved up a lot more percentage-wise compared to what we normally see. Now, the same will be said for pretty much all these other trades here as we go from top to bottom. Otherwise, here, JXJT, same deal. Now, let me talk to you about my crazy trade of the day. This thing was wild. It came out of nowhere. It was unplanned, and I don't like unplanned. For Jeff and Margaret and Drea, I don't like unplanned. I like to make sure I'm prepared, ready to go. So this thing just popped out of the woodwork here, this SIEN stock. And, again, we don't like cheap. We don't like these stocks below $1. They're not like bulletin board stocks, but they normally make a big move once, and that's pretty much it. So I think it was even like right at this point, I started to just see this for the first time. I was like, what the hell is this? All right, this thing's up like, 300, 400%. All right, here comes another mover, right? So I look on the daily chart. At the time, it was already breaking and filling that gap there that you see. But there could have been another gap in which this could have filled. It was a strong move up, and I thought maybe there could have been more. So I took a chance, and I ended up jumping in. It was at 79 cents or 80 cents there. It popped up one more time afterwards and got halted. So right at that point, I'm like, whew, okay, so we're on to a decent trade. Perhaps this has a chance to make a move up to at least $1. Well, it did so, and it ended up moving actually up towards resistance where we had here at like 113, if I'm not mistaken, right? High of the day, 113, basically the top from where we had a gap here. I think as well as the support. Yeah, dating back to here, back from April time. Kind of that area, the combination of that bottom and then the gap that we had back here from the beginning of the year. Well, hit there pretty much head on. Topped off right at 113, 115, I think the high there at the time was, then came back down. Geez, I mean, it fell on my lap, right? Can't always say that. It's a complete gift. So, it goes to show that, hey, if you're at your desk, there still could be plenty of opportunity even after 10:30 in the morning or 11 o'clock in the morning. As we head into the afternoon, you're not trying to be too aggressive, but for something that looks good, it feels good, you think there's a chance, even if you take it on smaller size or even just one share, just to get the practice in, right? This was a crazy trade. So what came up came back down, and that is something that we all know inside our live trading room. At least we know that for as much as this goes up, big trees fall hard. So, much like all the others, this ended up coming back down too. This will come back down at some point. IFBD, it looks like it already pulled back a small bit, but actually a pretty good push right now. I didn't notice this up until this point. So, yeah, Info Bird Ordinary Shares. I don't know what the company does, but nevertheless, nice recent pop here so far. If it ends up just tanking from this point, then I'll even scrap it from our list. But for now, it makes the cut. Join CLSK there. Oh man, well, hey, SIEN fell on my lap. It goes to say, you could just be at your desk and there could always be opportunities that can come up, right? Well, Children's Place, this one ended up popping during normal time here during 9:30 in the first hour, but I don't think anyone here, certainly not myself, expected this to make the move that it's been making, even dating back to Monday this week. So ended up continuing to try and fill the gap on the daily chart after reporting bad earnings. That throws you for a loop, right? I'm not trying to trade a stock or buy a stock coming off bad news, bad earnings like that. So ended up making a good squeeze. Well, ended up pushing up that much more in pre-market and then right after the open today. Actually got halted 2 or 3 separate times on the way up here, this Children's Place stock. So, I mean, definitely defied the odds, defied the expectations. And, well, again, much like all the others, it's a short squeeze. It's a pop and drop type of trade. And that's pretty much it. SOUN, a little bit higher float. I think this stock is at least, but same move, up and down it goes. The stock has done pretty well the last few days. So really from 175, perhaps 170, that could be there, up towards $4 and change. Pop and drop. Pop and drop. I was hopeful to see support here at this point going into the early afternoon, just never got it. So I moved on from that point. Anti Jumia here. Jumia actually not looking too bad. This thing has been on a tear today, obviously up nearly 40% right now, but it's been making lower highs really since like 2 p.m. So that's where I say maybe this trade could be finished up at this point, but it's a lot closer to the highs compared to where it's opened up at today, right? So you know what, for now, I'll kind of put this on our list here too. Just want to show this actually really quick because it goes to say again, it was on our pre-market watch list, right? Pop, drop, game over. That's the theme. Lunar, this was a pop and drop back earlier this week, actually. So, it ended up making a second win move actually to break a new high, but right now pulling back pretty hard, actually a little bit more than compared to the Jumia trade there. Shake Shack having a pretty good day. I don't know if that's off earnings. I would assume so, but Not really for us right there based off price. Oof. Wow, you got a lot more that's up percentage-wise, folks. So if there's anything else looking pretty good going up, type it in the chat board. There's actually a trade that we had yesterday, C4, C. Just see S4, SSSS. Just wanted to joke with that and just show that there quick. All right, so if there's anything else looking good going up, just let me know. Obviously, there's so much moving today, so I'll take a look at Benzinga. I know that Fausto ended up doing a really good presentation on Benzinga's webinar series just earlier today. We welcome all of our new trial members joining us from that event, so we'll actually show Benzinga Pro platform in just a bit. Let's hop over to the loser side here first, see if there's anything looking just as good, if not better. Herbalife was a great short earlier this morning. That's easier to say in hindsight there. Dropped off from basically 950 down to 7, and it bounced back up. So, good short, good dead cat bounce. For right now, a little bit more flat here for our liking, so I'll just pass on it for now. But FSLY is still tradable. It looks a little flat, a little slow, but it is easy to borrow on my platform, down over 30%. If it ends up failing to break lower, it's actually down enough to where we can consider like an actual dead cat bounce on this trade. So, namely focus on the direction down first. But if it ends up failing to give you that, then perhaps you get the squeeze back up higher. AUPH trying to bounce already. I think that we missed that at this point. INOD, Saber. This one also a little squeeze for right now, just happening here recently. I think that we missed out on a decent chunk of that already. All right. Sam is saying APLT worth a look. I will answer that question just right now. Let's see. Yeah, absolutely. I maybe skipped over that. In fact, I don't know. Or maybe the second I stepped away from it, maybe it just started popping up again. Who knows? But either way, yeah, really good call. Yeah, for now, I'll just add that to our list as far as just stock to watch and focus on trade, of course, if it gives us the chance. Actually, I'm going to put this near the top. Breaking over 350 here. Yeah, I did a quick rummage of the gainer side because, I start off with what's at the top. You go through familiar names. The stock we did look at, I think, maybe early in the morning, but then we threw it to the side. I would expect to head fake off 350 at first, though. Just it's been the first time it's testing it since pre-market hours, so big lots. I was looking for this to get push up a little bit more to try and attempt the short, but it dropped off really nicely from there. All right, so let's take a quick look on Benzinga Pro. Then we'll check out if there's any comments for any of our attendees on YouTube, at least, or Facebook, or Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. But we suggest for you to join us inside our live trading room. Just scan that QR code on the top left and get you live access. Now, here's our scanner, and right away I could tell, unless if this is just a glitch, but plus 38%. Like, what the hell's going on here in 5 minutes time? MSAI. I think that we've traded that one in the past. Well, there we go. There we go. Big pop. Actually reopened up off a halt, I believe. So up 91%. It's actually on the gainer side here at this point on TradeStation, but it didn't really have a lot of volume. I did skip over that if it was there, but otherwise Benzinga Pro really showing that it's up a lot right now. So yeah, at least add this to our list for now. Hopefully the order book fills in a hell of a lot more than what it appears to be right now, because right now it's like a ghost order book. You got no one out there here. So you really want to see this fill in over the next 15, 20 minutes time. All right, just checking Facebook Live, LinkedIn, all of our social media streams there. Again, at CyberTradingU, just hit the follow or subscribe button. And then if not from there, just join us right inside our trading room, as we said. But, I don't see any comments from there. So I think that we might be just about good to go. Just showed you Benzinga Pro, at least a decent catch here on MSAI. We'll see if we get real people joining the order book to show support. Maybe it pulls down to 350. If it breaks below there, probably right down at 3. But we'll see if there's anything else. Last call from Benzinga Pro. Yeah, that's the thing. Where I'm getting stocks that look like this, charts that look like this. I think that that's pretty much game over there. The one that I'm in, bottom right, if you see, the only stock I'm in right now is SPWR. I didn't go over this, I reckon, but SPWR is like barely up anything right now on the day. It's like break even right now on the entire day compared to yesterday's close. At least had a whole bunch of action in pre-market up and down, so it's had quite a day already. I was looking for a squeeze up on this trade earlier, took a small loss. It was like 3 or 4 cent loss before it pulled back, and then at this point now it's trying to make that move here. So you know what, I will add this to our list, not just because I'm in it, but it's also for the sake of saying that this stock had great activity earlier today, so we do appreciate the volatility. It's a higher float stock, so it has a larger gas tank for this move to try and come to fruition here on SPWR. So I hope to see it tradable. It's not like a crazy stock out there. All right, so I think that we're going to call it here for the time being, folks. Again, just if you have any other questions, feel free to just private chat us inside our live trading room. I'll be back on the mic coming up right at 3 o'clock. And then otherwise, hey, best of luck trading here going into the market close for all of us here. Take care.